What's up, guys? Today I'm going to go over the best method or process I found for turning in script for Wikalo favors in 4.1.1. The system itself sucks. The way that the system works is that you go and you get the script. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming already know how to get all that, so I'm not going to get into it. And then once you have all the script you need, you have to utilize the mission system in order to turn in the script for favors. So once every 2 minutes, the mission to turn in the script will pop up. And you'll know it's there because it'll be, at 25. So right now it's on cooldown. Another minute or so, it'll pick up or drop again. The mission drops once every 2 minutes, and only one person on the server can claim it. So the problem is, unless you're really fast and sitting in the menu like I am here and clicking back and forth, waiting for it to update, which it should here any second, you're going to, so there went, we'll see if we can get it just for demonstrations, favors, and accept offer. I was too slow, so I was not able to get that. And that is really the problem with this. And now you're waiting another 2 minutes in order to have a chance at grabbing that mission again. So number one is certain times a day is going to be better. Certain servers are going to be better. I was able to farm out 10 on this particular server. It took me about 35 minutes to farm out 10 of the missions. So I guess let me back up just a little bit. The beginning of the method that I found works best for me is to farm out all of the missions first before you start going to locations. The reason for that is because of what I just said. This turns into, a menu simulator, and you need to be focused on this, hyper-focused on this, going back and forth, every 2 minutes to get it to refresh in order to pick up these missions and beat anybody else on the server that may be trying to get the missions. And so if you pick up a mission and then you fly to that location and you get another mission, and maybe that's at a different location. So there's 3 locations that these can spawn at. It's random. It's not tied to, what you're close to. You could find yourself kind of jumping back and forth all over the place in order to turn these in, which would just take an enormous amount of time. So what I found is, before you leave and pack your stuff up, go into the menu and farm out 10 of these missions. Now I'm saying 10 because I'm turning these in batches of 500. So I want to get a total of, 30 favors for what I'm going for here. So I broke it up into basically 3 sessions of farming out and turning in 500 script for 10 favors each time. I can't sit here and farm out 30 of these missions because it can take forever. It's terrible the way that this works, but that's what we have. So the best way to do it is to just pick up 10. Okay, so put the time in. If you're on a crappy server, it might take you longer. If you're on a great server and you're getting it every 2 minutes, you'll be able to stack up those 10 minutes or 10 missions within 20 minutes. So 2-minute cooldown time every time it's picked up. And again, it's only one person per server every 2 minutes. So start with farming out all of those missions. Once you have them farmed out, what we're going to do is we're going to head over to our hangar and we're going to get prepped to go turn this stuff in. Now that we're in the hangar, we're going to come over and hopefully the inventory system's been pretty buggy. So what we're going to want to do is put the script in a container. So I have a container here and our script is in the other tab, should have 500, which I do. So let's go to the container and see if this will work. This doesn't always work, and so I might have to bring it up through the elevator. This is just loading. It might eventually load in, and then I can utilize it. But since we're recording here, we're just going to go ahead and bring that up through the elevator. If you're able to open that in your inventory, then you would just move your script into it and then bring it up through the elevator. But again, that is not working for me. So let's go ahead and bring it up here through the elevator, and I'll speed up the video a little bit here. Okay, so we have the container back close to the console. Again, this is going to take an extra couple seconds here because I'll have to kind of go back and forth, moving the script into my backpack and into the container. So it would be nicer if we didn't have to do that. So if you're able to move it all into the container from this inventory screen, once you have it in there, you're going to break it up into stacks of 50. Since I have to move it over, I'm going to just do that now. So we're going to right click and I just found out you can actually type in here instead of clicking the arrow button, so that's nice. And then once you, if you don't leave the inventory, it'll keep that 50 just listed. So just keep right clicking and hitting split until all of those are broken up into stacks of 50. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move that all into the container. And again, I'll go ahead and speed up the video here. All right, so we have all the script in the container. Again, that's kind of a monotonous deal there to have to move it manually. So again, if you are able to get the container to open in your actual inventory system, and you can just drag it in from there, it'll be much faster. Okay, now that our box is loaded, we're gonna get it put in the ship. And then once I get it in the ship, I'm also going to just double check that everything I put in it stuck. Again, with the inventory system being a little laggy, sometimes you'll run into some issues and you don't want to run off and not have everything in it that you need. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the 10 missions that we picked up, and we're going to see how we're going to break those up. I believe I got 3 in yellow, 3 in Yella, 3 at Microtech, and 4 at Hurston. So I'm going to go to Yella first since I'm close to that, and then I'm going to probably go over to Hurston, and then from there over to Microtech to do the turn-ins. So let's go ahead and get this in the ship. Now I want to make sure it snaps just so we don't get any weirdness. Grids are a little bit weird, so just make sure that you get it to snap in. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to double check that we have all 10 stacks, 50 at each of the script to turn in. And then let's just also verify on the missions here. So our contracts are accepted. We have 10, and we're going to do yellow first. So I'm just going to track that. It already is because that was the first one that I picked up. So we're going to go yellow, then we're going to go to Hurston, and then we're going to go to Microtech to turn these in. So I will go ahead and get over there, and then we'll pick back up once we're landing. All right, so we made it. We're going to land in our hangar as soon as it opens here. Hopefully it opens. There it goes. Sometimes the doors can take a few moments. Just wait. I also find when you land, it takes abnormally long for the doors to close, which it's a little unnerving, but they will eventually close. And I don't know if it makes a difference being like right in the middle of the pad or not. It shouldn't, but I always try and land somewhat close to it so I don't have to get in and keep moving around and wasting time. So we'll get kind of close and we'll just keep our fingers crossed. This is an armistice zone. I don't know if somebody else was to, dip into the hangar, if they would be able to, utilize their weapon and cause problems in here or not, but I guess that's a chance we just have to take here. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to take our box over to the kiosk. In a perfect world where there is no problems with the inventory system, I would take the box over to the elevator, and I would send it down the elevator, and I would pull out the 3 stacks that I need to turn in here, there. So again, perfect world, I take this box over the elevator, I send it down, and then I would run over here to the lobby area and pull the script out of the box. But since I've been having a lot of problems with getting into these boxes in the inventory system, I'm just going to have to manually run it over here and take them out and put them in kind of the same way, but in reverse that we did when we loaded the box up. So let's get it close over here as we can. Okay, and next we're going to access it, and we're going to just start moving these over. So I have 3 turn-ins here. So we're going to put 3 in the local inventory in the hangar. I don't know if this persists here. I wouldn't leave anything. It probably should, but again, I wouldn't advise doing that. Okay, that's 2. And let's grab the last one, and then we'll bring this back to our ship on our run over. Okay, and we have 3. So I got 3 missions here, so I put in 3 stacks, which is all we're going to need. So let's go ahead and get this back over into the ship, and then we'll go over to the elevator and start turning these in. Yep, the hangar's finally closing. I haven't wanted to waste time, but let me know in the comments. Can you park anywhere in here? Once you're down, it'll just eventually close, because it would be nicer to really to put the ship like directly in between the elevator and the lobby where we just came from. Save us a minute or so of having to jog across the hangar. Okay, and that's snap. So let's head over to the elevator. Okay, so once we get over to the elevator, elevators are a little finicky as well, so you want to click into it. If for some reason it gives you any kind of an error or anything like that, just click back out of it and then click into it. So we can see our 3 stacks of script are here. We're going to send the elevator down. I'd recommend not going in and out of this console while it's doing transactions, either coming up or going down. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to pull 1 stack over, and we are going to send it up. Hopefully. There we go. Now, there is a delay sometimes on it counting everything that you have here. So what I generally do is I'm going to click select all, and I want to see that there's 50, and there's not. It says there's 49, but I sent up a stack of 50. So what you want to do is just click out, click back in, and select all again, and now we have 50. I've had it to where it's told me 48 and then 49 and then 50, so you just have to give it some time to register. If you run into the elevator here, you'll actually see it is all laid out on the ground, but it's laid out all individually like this. So now we're going to go ahead and send the elevator down, and we have 1 contract here that's full. Now, I did try and send up like 150 to do all 3 of these at one point, and it was just giving me an error. I did send it down, and it did give me credit for 1 of them, but it put the other script back into my inventory. So you cannot turn all of these in at one time like you could with, say, a hauling mission or cargo running mission. So you do have to do it individually. You can't send 150 down and get credit for all 3 of the missions. So once that has been sent down, that's complete. We're going to back out of it here. It's going to give us our little fly-ins that this is all been completed, and that we're getting the favor. Now it'll ask you if you want to retrieve the favor, and what it'll do is it'll send it up the elevator. I normally leave it there until I'm done. If you're only grabbing 1, I mean, I guess you could do that, but sometimes things don't spawn in right away or correctly on the elevator, so I like to pull it out from the console we were at the beginning. So I'm just going to ignore that, and then I'm going to click into here to get the elevator to come back up. Click back out for a moment. Okay, there it is. And then I'm going to click back in, and I'm going to see I have 1 favor, and I have still my other stacks of script. So let's go ahead and send it back down so that we can move on to the next mission. And essentially what we're going to do is rinse and repeat this another time after. So I'll go ahead and speed it up here so you don't have to just watch me clicking up and down. Okay, so we've completed all the turn-ins at this particular location. Now that that's done, I'm going to head back over to the inventory console at the lobby area here, and I'm going to pull the favors out from there. Again, it's just a little more stable than pulling it off of the elevator. Once I have those, I'm ready to leave here and move on to the next location, which for me is going to be Hurston. I'm not going to go through all of that because you guys get the gist. It's basically rinse and repeat at this point. So just to recap, what you want to do is start with focusing on just picking up the number of missions that you need for the amount that you want to turn in for any given play session. If you want to turn in, 30, then pick up 30 missions. The longest part of all of this and the most monotonous part of all of this is picking up the missions. So I would highly recommend, like I did here, pick those all up first, stack them. If you find that, you pick up 10, but you only end up with enough time to, finish up 5 of them, you can always just drop them, bring your script back and store it. So you know, you don't have to do them all. But if you pick up one mission, you come here and you turn it in, and then you're trying to pick up another, you might, you know, get beat by a couple people on the server picking up those next few missions. And you know, and so it just takes a lot of time. It's better to combine like tasks, is what I find, so you can get in that groove of just, you know, playing menu simulator and, you know, going back and forth and trying to, you know, get these missions to pop up for you so you can grab them. I mean, they will pop up every 2 minutes. You just have to, you know, really be on it, you know, and going back and forth here. And as soon as that number pops back up, then that mission will be there, and you need to be the first one to get it. So do that all up front. It'll save you a ton of time. If you're trying to turn stuff in and then go back into, you know, the menu and grab something, and it just ends up being a nightmare. If you grab them all up front, you can kind of plan out what you're going to do ahead of time and then go and execute that. So once you have all your missions, get yourself a container, put in the amount of script that you need in stacks of 50. Come to the Wikelo location, the first one, or if you're only going to one, go to that one, bring the box over to the inventory console, move in the amount of stacks that you need for the amount of turn-ins that you have, then go over to the elevator, and you're going to process it up and down, turning them in one at a time. Again, you cannot turn in multiples of the missions in one go going up and down the elevator, so it'll have to be individually. So I think that is about it. I'm going to continue on here, not counting the time kind of back and forth in recording the video. I think this round, the servers were a little busy today. I'm finding real late at night is better for me. I'm in the US on the West Coast. So it's a little bit better in getting those missions. There's not as much competition, but in all, it took me about an hour and a half to do, you know, 10. So the other night it took me about an hour, and the first time it took me like well over 2 hours because I just was jumping all over the place and, you know, picking up missions on, you know, I'm at yellow already and I'm picking up a mission, Hurston, dropping it, and then, you know, back and forth. It was just a nightmare. So if you follow this method, you should be able to get, if you're like me, I'm going for the mid-tier ship from Wikelo, and that's 30 of these favors along with some Karenite. You should be able to get that done in about 3 to 4 hours, you know, kind of worst case scenario, as long as you're able to be quick in picking up those missions. I'm sorry there's not a faster way I can show you, but this is the most efficient way that I've found. The system just sucks. So hopefully that changes. From what I've read, it looks like in some of the PTU stuff, this system is changing, and the amount of script you're going to use is going to change, along with some of the the script I think is going to be used for something else. It's not real clear. I'm going to turn it in before the patch because I don't want to have to farm helmets and stuff, which you're going to need after, but you can dig into that, you know, separately and look and see what's going to change. But for 4.1.1, this is the most efficient, quickest method to get this done. So hope this was helpful, guys. If it was, hit the thumbs up, give me a subscribe. I appreciate it. We do have a Discord server. We play pretty much nightly. The, you know, large group of people playing either individually as smaller groups or all together. Everybody's welcome. Jump in, check it out, have a good time. All right, until next time, have a good one. Appreciate you.